Hey, we're live. This is Jeff Lichtenstein with Echo Fine Properties. We have three homes for you to see today. And first one, we're going to go to see, we're going to be with Homie. Homie, give a wave. Homie, where are you at today?
Oops. I am in City Place South Tower in downtown West Palm Beach. It is one of my all-time favorite buildings in downtown. I'm sorry.
So we're going to get over there, and then Alyssa, where are you at today?
I'm in P.
I think you said PGA.
Yes, PGA National.
PGA National, and you have a single-family home over on, and is it Berwick or Marwood?
In Berwick Estates.
Okay, and then I'm going to be over in Breakers West today, giant estate. It's almost over 8,000 square feet under air, about 12,000 square feet total. It's absolutely the best, most beautiful lot, that's in Breakers West, and we'll tell you about Breakers West and everything first. So let's start with Homie first. So Homie, I am going to put you on the screen, and you're at 550 Okeechobee Boulevard. At City Place. So tell us all about it.
Sure. So City Place South Tower is a prestigious 477 condominium building in downtown West Palm Beach and City Place. It actually is 20 stories high. And I will show you first photo here on the interior. All right, so it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, just a little over 1,100 square feet. Has a split floor plan, and it is in the penthouse. So there is absolutely no one above you, and your ceilings are actually higher than any other floor as well, being in the penthouse. So this one is offered for $525,000. And as you can see, so once you walk through the front door right through here, you're actually facing the living space as well as the balcony, and then on either side of you, you have the 2 bedrooms. So let me get in here. So it's just another shot from the dining room looking out towards the balcony. So the balcony actually wraps around to the entire width of the condo itself. And so you can see everything is very neutral. The owners are original owners. They purchased it in 2008, brand new. They probably use it just a handful of times. So really it's pretty much brand spanking new. The floors they did redo to kind of that wood look tile, very neutral. So you can really just make it your own. So you have a galley kitchen, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, wine cooler for those winos out there. And
there's a lot of winos out there right now.
Especially now, I feel like people who weren't big drinkers then are now a lot more of a drinker.
I saw this contraption today where it's like a Keurig. It's like a Keurig, but it's for like all sorts of mixed drinks and stuff. So I thought that was a little too dangerous.
Yeah. So here you have a beautiful bar top that you can actually serve here while you're in the kitchen making drinks or making dinner. And of course, you have plenty of space to have your guests enjoy your beautiful views. Again, this is just another shot of the kitchen going straight into the guest bath from across. And we'll go into the master. So just to kind of put things in perspective, this is actually a queen size bed. It looks teeny tiny in this room just because this room is actually very generous inside. The master does have its own entrance to the balcony, as well as an ensuite bathroom. Just another shot of the master. And then here is your master bath. So you have the double sink, you have the frameless glass shower, a soaking tub, full of marble everywhere, marble galore. Again, very neutral. This is the 2nd bedroom. So you do have floor to ceiling windows. Of course, they're all impact glass. You don't have to worry about putting up shutters. This is the guest bath as well as the bathroom that the living space would be using. Of course, stand and shower. And then here is the money view here. So from the penthouse, you're facing southeast. You have beautiful, stunning views of the intracoastal Palm Beach, and actually, you can actually see the Atlantic Ocean as well, just over Palm Beach. So you get a lot of sunlight coming through here. You really get the $1 million view without paying $1 million. So that is a huge bonus. Another shot here of the balcony. So it's extremely long. I mean, you can run back and forth and get your quarantine workouts in. And then this is for the people who are not afraid of heights, because, you know, it makes you feel a little woozy if you're looking down straight from the balcony. You look at the beautiful resort style pool. It's 86 feet long, infinity edge. And this is just a front shot of the building here.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah. Oh.
But you're walking distance to everything over there.
You really are, yeah. So, I mean, you're really right across the street from Restoration Hardware. There's the intersection across from City Place. So all the shopping, the dining, the Improv, the Kravis Center. I mean, you really don't even need a car here. But if you did, the unit does come with 2 spots, and they are actually diagonally across from each other on the same floor, and actually right off the main floor. So you just walk out to the deck, and your cars are right there. You don't have to take a separate elevator or stairs. But I mean, really, you can come have this as your seasonal place, get rid of a car, don't need to get a car, and just Uber for those longer distance rides. But otherwise, you can walk anywhere. And I mean, we have beautiful weather all the time, so car is not.
You want me to put the? You've got a few more photos to go through. Or do you want me to put the video on too?
Oh, sure, you can do the video.
Sure. Okay. We do a video for every home that we list. And Rob Moore, who's with us, is a professional photojournalist by trade and has worked in the news business for over 10 years before joining us.
Rob is fantastic. And he took these beautiful shots. So these are all the amenities here. So you have an outdoor grill, you have the fitness center. Each equipment has its own TV.
That guy with social distancing was all by himself.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's lots to do. You don't have to leave the building. You can have your workouts there. They have their own little club room that you can host. Socially distant parties. Bring your own booze. You have your yoga room, a spa treatment room, rainfall showers, and restrooms. So it does have a conference room for meetings, as well as complimentary valet for both residents and for guests. So you don't have to worry about any kind of city parking. You do have 24-hour concierge and security staff on site. So really, they make it super easy to live here. You don't have to. You can really have them do anything that you need. So security, I mean, they have someone there 24 hours a day. So, I mean, I just love it just because you get amazing views. The buildings actually has between 1 to 3 bedrooms, different floor plans. And really, I mean, it's just convenience is, I think, the biggest selling point about this building is you're just so close to everything. You don't need a car, and there's so much to do. It's city life in South Florida.
Yeah, Homaira, we were showing a picture of you, when you were doing in the video. How is your makeup and hair and everything? How do you look so good in a pandemic?
Thank you. Well, I knew I was going to be on video, so I had to put on some makeup. But usually I just do eyes and I wear a mask. So I only do half my face.
What's going on in that world? You come from a makeup background. What's going on in that world that where your background was a little bit for
I mean,
years ago?
Now, obviously it's not going to be. It'll probably be more kind of virtual selling when you're doing makeup and kind of drawing on diagrams as opposed to painting faces directly. Just got a little creative with everything.
But there's so much, and what's going on downtown in West Palm Beach? What has been open? Have they started opening up? A lot of things there, the restaurants and everything.
They still are doing delivery and pickup as of right now. I don't think that any of them have really implemented the outdoor seating just yet, but I think that that'll be coming soon. But I do believe that some of the malls now should be opening up this week, I believe.
Yeah, we've talked to some restaurants that have been opening up this week. They're doing 25% capacity, so it's nice to see some things. But you really live downtown because it's not a heavy urban area. It's kind of just a nice, open, quiet city and there's just a lot of restaurants there. The Kravis Center, like you mentioned, is there. And then you got the Intercoastal, and you can just go over the bridge and you're at Palm Beach, and all the shops there, and just amazing beaches by the clock tower and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's one of the best buildings, I think, in downtown West Palm, as far as amenities go and location goes. So you can't beat it.
Homaira, can you put up your information if somebody would like to take a look at it?
Sure, absolutely. And my cell phone number, phone is always on me, or I can send me an email as well, 561-657-0500.
Okay. So let's go from there and let's go see Alyssa. So Alyssa, you're in PGA National.
Hi, yes, I'm in PGA National at 7 Alnwick Road in the Berwick Estate section. So PGA National is one of the most established communities in our area. There's over 5,000 homes in 43 different neighborhoods. So one of the great things about PGA National is membership is not required. So if you are a golfer and you want to use one of the 5 courses, you can. However, if you just want to enjoy the beautiful community, you don't have to pay for it, which is great. So here's an aerial shot, let me get out of the way, of the home. This home is located on a cul-de-sac, so really private. You're not going to have a lot of traffic. There, it overlooks the 14th hole of the Squire course there. So you have beautiful golf course views, mature landscaping, really pretty. Take you inside. So here's the main living area. As you enter the home, you're greeted with, these soaring ceilings, a beautiful staircase, tile
Comes with boat and golfing.
Yes, and a boat. So this home is super welcoming and inviting. It has tons of natural light, tons of windows. It's 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, just under 3,300 living square feet. So it's a large home. You can see here the dining room is also off of this living space. Here's the kitchen that was recently remodeled. They added the black cabinets, new countertops, stainless steel appliances. You have views of the golf course there from the sink. So when you're doing some dishes, it's at least a pretty view.
I mean, the amount of windows in this house are spectacular. I mean, if you just go down the list, it's wide open. And when you come back to that front area, you've got these soaring windows by the front and arch windows, on the other side. So the amount of light that's coming in this home with the ceiling variations and all the lines that you can see, it's just a really light-filled, open, true, home, that has a lot of character to it.
Right, yes, you can't beat all the natural light that it has. And there's some recessed lighting here too in the ceiling, newer hardwood floors. And it's the open concept into the family room here. There's also a wood burning fireplace behind me, which is really cool. Don't see often here in Florida. Here's the dining room. So you have plenty of space to entertain. If you're not entertaining often, you can easily convert this into an office or even another bedroom if you'd like, or a man cave. Take you upstairs. So the master bedroom is also massive. There's an additional seating area there. You have the French doors that open up to a private balcony that's just accessed from this master. So, and it overlooks, of course, the golf course, which is a southern exposure here on the back of the house. So you can have a great spot for your morning coffee. There's a large walk-in closet as well. Here's the master bath, which is just beautiful.
That's completely redone. I love the floors in there.
The floors, right? Aren't they great? Yeah. And the tub too. I mean, what a great place to soak and relax. So I'll take you next outside. Here's the pool, large pool. You can see that top balcony there or deck. You have the covered sitting area with the fans. So if you don't want to sit out in the sun, you have some shade there. Really just a beautiful home. And of course, one of the best locations in our area. So if you have any questions about this home, feel free to give me a call. My number is 561-935-6577.
I'll show you a little bit about PGA, too. PGA there's like Alyssa said earlier, there's 43 distinct subdivisions in PGA. There's over 4,900 homes. There's 4,961 to be precise. And each subdivision is different from the other. So like where we were in the estates of Berwick, that's a custom home. There's 6 different custom neighborhoods. that all are a little different within PGA. And then there's condos, there's of various sizes, townhomes, and then you have zero lot line types of homes as well. Some that are gated within PGA or some that are just are open. But every home in PGA, it's totally gated from 6 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. at night. And there's 3 different gates in there. There's 5 championship golf courses. It's the host of the Honda Classic. The PGA Resort and Spa is right there with 4 different restaurants internally. And then there's a 32,000 square foot health and racket club, 19 clay tennis courts. And then you have 2 pickleball courts, as well as there's a croquet club as well as in here. And you can see it borders PGA Boulevard on the north side, and then North Lake on the other side. Turnpike access is directly across the street on PGA, and then North Lake's about 3 minutes away, and you're close to 95, the mall, and the 15 minutes of the airport and the beaches. There's an overhead view of the resort that you can see, and then there's that beautiful lake that's in there, and you can kind of see where the clubhouse is on the left, and then with the resort style pools on the left, and then those are all the hotel guests when they have conventions and different things going on at PGA. That's the entrance, to PGA, and they have doormen who open it up, and there's a beautiful iBar that's in there, and lots of different things to do within the resort. If you're a member there, you don't have to join PGA if you don't want to. It's completely option free, and it makes selling a home really easy because nobody has to join. But about 20% of the people do is either a golf or a social or a tennis membership. There's very affordable memberships for the quality that you get. That was the bear trap that we were looking at. So a lot of these homes and townhomes and condos, they all hug either the golf course or these open area preserve or lake views that you're seeing, below. Nice swing. So that's a little bit about PGA National for you. If you want to get in touch with, and I've put in the comment section, if you read, there's links to get in touch with Homie and Alyssa in there, and links to all the homes that we're showing today. There's a club cost comparison, so if you want to see what all the club costs are, we'll do all that. We're going to be all these homes. We're going to be shooting in a 3-dimensional way, and all the new listings that we take, we're doing the same thing where we'll walk through the house in a 3-dimensional way. So we're catching up to that. That's pretty cool stuff. So Alyssa can be reached at 561-935-6577 or Alyssa at echofineproperties.com. Hey, Alyssa, have you taken the boat out recently?
I have. The weather's been so pleasant, so I've been taking some time out on the water.
Yeah, Alyssa knows a lot about all the, anything on the intracoastal or the ocean and all the communities that border all the waterways in here. She loves to fish and boat and stuff. And is there any difference right now with less people? Have there been less people out there? Does the fishing and the water look different?
I'd say there's more people out there. We caught a couple of sailfish the other weekend. There's tons of boats going up and down the intracoastal. So everybody's, using their boats during quarantine. It's
I think
crazy.
it's like the one big thing that has, that has happened in quarantine is that everybody's been, because you can with your boats. So I'm going to bring you over to a house now that's in Breakers West. This is the largest home in Breakers West, and I think by far the most spectacular lot that you'll ever see over there. Breakers West is off of Okeechobee. It's by the Turnpike. It's a very affordable club for all that you get. There's 540 homes internally in Breakers West. Let me just make sure I have it here. Give me 1 second. Bear with me.
Video's up, Jeff.
There. You got the video up? Perfect. So let's go to the video first. So this is I think we have the spotlight on there now. This is an 8,000 square foot, home altogether. It's a total of 12,000 square foot, totally under air. The views are spectacular. You're right by the clubhouse. You can walk over there. It's on this giant lake, with golf course views. Has a real Asian and Zen, inspired, quality, to it. And there's these koi, ponds when you first come in. There's two master suites in this home. So there's one downstairs and one upstairs. That's the game room. So what a great place to be quarantined. And that's the house there that you can see from itself from the aerial standpoint. And there's the pool area, the beautiful rock, waterfall pool that's right off of the lake. That's the clubhouse of that you could take a look at. Now we're zooming in, on the house and the grounds. It's about an acre and a half. The roof here, everything is real tile that they would use in a Japanese Zen type of home. Look at the koi pond in there, beautiful bougainvillea. They spent a fortune in landscaping. That's when you first come in. You have all these high ceilings, and it's great to display your artwork in here. That's the dining room area. It's all impact glass. The kitchen's been totally redone. It's a German inspired kitchen, so you got Miele appliances and all top of the line. That's the downstairs master suite. That's right off of this patio over here, wet bar that you can see. And then there's an open library area. You can take a look at the ceiling height in there. Exercise room, as well. Beautiful balconies, to show. And then that gives you a little bit view back to where we were. This is all outdoor dining that you can see in here. 6 bedrooms altogether. There's 7 bathrooms and then 3 half baths in this home. So it's wonderful, for a family, if you do a lot of entertaining. It's just a spectacular home, and it's right by the entrance there, but it's just a one of a kind, and it's all remodeled in here and all done. So there's not a dime that you need to put into 1449 Enclave. And Enclave is a double gated subdivision. So it's a gated subdivision within Breakers West, 4-car garage. You're not going to find anything really like this, type of home in the area at all. If you like, this type of look, and if you like Asian inspired and Japanese gardens, and this is a one of a kinder that you don't find too often. So if you want to get in touch with me, my number's 561-346-8383 or Jeff at echofineproperties.com. So Rob, what do we have the rest of the day? And you were going to put the spotlight on me today a little bit.
Oh, so now's the fun time. Hold on, let me put my headphones in here. So now we get to have a little fun. Normally Jeff's the one spotlighting our agents, so we're gonna spotlight Jeff today.
I have no idea what's coming.
And I'll say I started with Jeff. I think it's been 3 years now, going on 3. I left the news industry after 10 years, 7 down here, and found this man by accident. I think I was on Indeed or LinkedIn. I was just stressed out one day, and I said, I need a new job. I need to get out of
3:30 in the morning didn't cut it.
I need to get out of the news. And I found this job, and it was real estate related. I said, I don't sell real estate, but it said about social media, and it said about video. And I was like, So I remember Jeff took me to breakfast at Susie Q's, where we sat down and had a breakfast. And I think, Jeff, I don't remember if it was later that day or the next day, he calls me and says, I'd like to hire you. So, wow. So where I'm going with this story is Jeff invested highly into Echo Fine Properties, especially when it comes to the video world. And that's my baby. And he's always forward thinking, which I always find Jeff to be, I don't know, 8 steps ahead of the other person. Jeff, where do you get that forward thinking mentality? Like, where does it come from? You're always light years ahead, I feel, of other agencies and in the industry. Where do you get that from?
It's funny. The Last Dance is on, with the Bulls, and I think I loved playing sports when I was a kid, and but I have this awful broken body and double jointed and stuff, so nothing was going to work there. But I really liked how teams were assembled. It was fascinating to me what made a good sports team. How did the Bears with Walter Payton, and you saw just watching that whole team built by Jim Finks. We were talking to Willie Rofe the other day, and George Halas, and then watching the Bulls really go from a bad team to a good team. Some of it I got from my dad, watching how he did it, but I think I was more interested in the mechanics of how a team was built, and was interested, like I'd play with my friends, we'd play pickup, and we had intramural, sports where we had a team that we just all put together. And sometimes we'd win games against, much more talented people, but they didn't play together. So team building and stuff, and how we're a general manager, like for Bulls, if you're watching like Jerry Krause, has to really think years down the road. So they're making trades with players, and they're trying to invest in a first round draft choice. It's 3-4 years down the road. So you don't think immediate. So when you're thinking video, like in your sense in social media, you're trying to project a little bit what's ahead. You don't want to go too far ahead, but you have to recognize when something is there. So social media, for example, exists and it's here, but then how do you utilize it? And then you've got to get ahead. But right now, like with virtual reality, I see the same thing going, where we've been exposed to it, and then it becomes how do you implement things, and you've got to be willing to make mistakes with it, with trial and error, with it as well. And then I think for me, a lot of it then becomes good attitudes and positive energy. If you watch teams that just, when I played on with friends, I think that was why we did so. That was part of the reason that we did so well. You look like at the Bulls with Jerry Krause, he's got some oddities himself, but for the team wise, there was a lot of bad character players on the team with all sorts of issues, and didn't show up for practice. And he got rid of some talented players and brought in team-oriented, players to work with around Jordan, but that were unselfish players. And that's, I think, one of the reasons they thrived. So watching that as a combination is where some of it comes from, I think.
I always find it amazing too how you take each, and we've had discussions. There's times I'll call Jeff up, or Jeff will call me, and I'm just struggling. And he'll say to me, slow down, relax. And you have to treat each person differently. Some people's brains work differently. They understand things differently. And I find it amazing. Jeff will spend the time with each agent individually. I mean, I don't know when you sleep, man. I don't know when you sleep, but tell me a little bit about that process, because you take individualized time with every agent to understand them, to see what their struggles are, to see how you can help. How do you do that?
I think because I struggled as a kid, and some of it was I didn't know how to organize myself. So I had a semester in sophomore year, and I've told you the story, and I got a D in geometry and a D in I don't remember the other course, and a C and a B. And so my mother comes trampling through the school, and I'm like, oh no, are my friends going to see and everything? And she puts me down with the school shrink. And is there a drug problem? Is there a girl problem? And there wasn't. And he asked me, can you explain? Tell me a sport you like or something you like to do. And I said, I like sports and basketball. He said, can you explain basketball to me? I said, well, you take a jump shot, and sometimes you use the backboard, and then you start dribbling. And he said, literally time out. Think about basketball from somebody who's never played it before, and then start slow and think of it from basketball as a game where one team is trying to score more points than the other team. And then there's two baskets. So for me, that helped me, and I put everything in an outline format. And if there's something missing, I try to figure out where that peg is in the order of the outline. Maybe piece 3 is missing. And so my brain kind of works that way, and my grades went, I was a good solid B student after that. And then learned to get, better with it and start to utilize, my work ethic with that outline format. But I think I'm able, because I've had struggles, I'm able to see how somebody else is going through something, and I try to put myself in their shoes, and I'm pretty good at that. So it's asking a lot of questions so you understand how the other person's thought process is. I think that comes from me having struggles, myself growing up.
And Jeff does like to ask questions. When he hires a new agent, they have I think it's 3 pages. I don't remember how many questions. It's a questionnaire.
It's a lot of questions.
But it's good because
100 questions. I will chime in.
how many questions?
100 questions.
100 questions. So it's good because he wants to see that you put the time and effort. If you're not going to fill out that questionnaire, it's to help him get a better feel and us get a better feel for that agent.
When we're doing the questionnaire, though, when an agent comes in, we ask a lot of questions of them, and we're trying to get to know them. And then it's always, what is somebody may say, well, I had a hard work ethic. Well, where did you get the hard work ethic? They may say, well, that was from my dad. So what about your dad was a hard worker? Well, and then you start digging deep, and then that becomes a story. And when we do bios on agents, that's a story. It's the same thing for like when we're telling a story of the home. Where did that come from? What's behind that? What's your favorite memory in your home? So I think everything it's that. And so it's being natural and, it's being human and understanding that, and you learn a lot more and you connect, I think, with people, more that way too. And then if somebody's struggling, it helps them. You try to figure out what's the reason why they're struggling. Are you fearful, of something? Is it you don't know how to say something, or you don't understand something, and you can try to figure it out?
So give me the early story on, you weren't always in real estate, of course, when you first started off in your life. You started off in the textile business with your dad. Tell me a little bit about that process and then how you got into real estate.
I worked for my dad, growing up. He had it was my grandfather's business. It was my grandfather was a product of the Depression. He went to law school at DePaul University in Chicago, graduated, class of I think 39, and couldn't get a job because of what was going on at that particular time. His father was a tailor, and my grandfather sold buttons because my grandfather had some health issues, but his zippers were being used, I guess, for the war later on. So he ended up selling that, and ended up, I never thought about it that way, but my grandfather was always asking questions. And, one of his clients, Mrs. Allswing, who had a workroom and used it for slipcovers, and said, can you brought out a piece of cloth, said, could you get some drapery lining? And he investigated that and got in the drapery lining business. And fast forward, my dad ended up in that business. It was a $3 million small business at that time, and he grew that into a $100 million company over 30 years. So I grew up in there, and it was very family oriented. You knew everybody. There was. I can go back and know all the people there. And then I spent my summers in high school and college working. My dad put me in the warehouse. It was my first job there outside of, I had some other jobs, but that was my first job there. And, I was really proud to work in the warehouse with the guys. And then another summer would be on the phone, another summer in the converting or accounting department. And then my junior year, he gave me a bag. And I called on all the people in Chicago customers who had bad credit that Ray Collins, our rep, didn't want. And I loved it. I practiced my presentation, and I took a trip to Minnesota, Minneapolis, and Milwaukee, and I looked in the yellow pages for all the clients, and I loved it because I'm meeting the customers and I see what this bolt of fabric is now being used for. And went back to school. I went to Syracuse, and you're not learning anything in your marketing and your business classes. I was learning it really in the field. So I jumped in and I did sales for him for 9 years, traveled 35 weeks a year or so on the road, and been in 48 of the 50 states. We had a terrific sales force. I learned from our veteran salespeople at the time, and ended up being the sales manager there. I was a working sales manager, so I would both sell and take care of vacant areas, and then train our salespeople from there. My dad sold that business. We were lucky to get out when we did. We had a really good company. Every department was fixed and in good shape, which doesn't always happen, but it was a declining industry, and we were lucky that we sold it when we did. My folks moved down to Florida. I didn't want to stay in the business and do that type of traveling, and because it was a declining industry, and thought I wouldn't be it for various reasons. I thought it wasn't going to be as enjoyable. Not with family, and I always liked looking at homes when my parents would go. I would tag along as like a teenager, found it interesting. And I always liked the one-on-one sales relationships with clients. We always saw the same clients season after season. And I liked that people connection, and just wanted to get back into pure sales. So I started here in 2000. I took my own advice and was a good student. And was very, very trainable. And I was an implementer, where I would implement. I'd sit in a sales meeting or would talk to a very successful agent and I would read between the lines because I knew how to train. So I reversed it. And so I'd write down 8 or 12 things. I'd go back to the office, I'd put them on a Word document, and then what was the implementation plan? My schedule was, Sam was 2 years old when we moved down, and I needed to get going right away. And real estate's always been a traditional 3-year type of a thing. So to really start doing business. So I would come in between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning on a daily basis. I did that for 4 consecutive years, just religiously. And I made a $4,000 referral my first 6 months, but I built up my listing inventory. I was consistent on what I did, and sold 30 homes my second year, and then 50 to 60. And they used to, at one point was carrying 60 some odd homes, and built a team, very, very quickly.
So you went from, used to be called Jeff Realty to Echo Fine Properties. How
Right.
the hell did that start? Where did the Dolphins come in? Where did this Echo, give me that vision and where we're at now?
Jeff Realty was about me, and it made sense at the time because it was, I was an agent with an assistant, and you need to wanted to promote myself individually. So I Googled and saw what was available, and I putting all sorts of things. I put Jeff Realty in, and it popped up. I took it. So that was the emphasis. I built a website at the same time. This was going back to 2000. It launched January 1st, 2010. We started building in 2009. So about 6 months to build. And it ended up doing very well on the SEO side. It started, I was just going to do a few different areas that was focused on doing business in, and ended up becoming, started to build on it, and then got obsessed with it. And that was the 4 a.m., project every day. And I try to build it. I look for a custom builder, which is impossible to find in real estate because of the IDX, all the data that you see that's coming in. Our website today has 4 different searches. So if you're searching out there, part of the problem when you're using a website is you may have a realtor in here. Homie might be in part of the Miami board, and then it won't show up on an individual's local website. We have 4 different ones. So when I started doing this though back in 2010, just got obsessed with it and was very interested in it, and put a lot of time in it, and did individual descriptions. So we ended up popping up pretty high within Google. We always did our own marketing and all sorts of stuff. And I started getting all these buyer inquiries, which I didn't even want, because it was a distraction from the listing side of the business in areas I wasn't, doing. And basically, but in the back of my mind, I knew that could become a brokerage. So as it was going more and so I hired a buyer's an agent, and then another buyer's agent, and my father couldn't play golf anymore, and my mother said, find him something to do. So, so he did. And then, you got aggravated with the photographers out there because they had rainy day insurance and they charge you, and then they wouldn't take the pictures at the right time. So we brought a photographer in, and then it just kept expanding. So before, at some point, we got 30 some odd people. And then I individually worked with each agent to grow them so that they weren't just dependent on, Jeff Realty, but they would be strong themselves. And as that started to happen, the name became an issue. I think we were looking at doing an ad campaign, and I have these old madmen I was talking to who've done some off the wall kind of old stuff back in the 70s and 80s. And they made a suggestion, which was on my mind a little bit, but they said, maybe you should change it from Jeff is very singular. And, if it was Jeffrey, that would be different. But I don't go by Jeffrey, and ads also, and name should be organic. They should be true to what you are. So it was a major investment to make a name change, but I thought we needed to. I commissioned 2 different marketing people to come up with names, spent some dollars on it because you have one shot at that. Didn't like anything. It was too generic. Not that they were bad. Although there was one really cool thing, but it was too much about me. And I thought about dolphins. Sometimes an area is named after something. If you look at a sports team, even, the Milwaukee Brewers, they brew beer. I don't know if there's Eagles in Philadelphia or,
Pennsylvania. They're around.
They're around. The Bulls were because of the stockyards in Chicago. That's where the Chicago Bulls came from. So for us, dolphins they intrigue me because dolphins are part of the area. When people think of Florida, they do think of dolphins, even the Miami, Dolphins. But you think of the water that we have, behind me. You think of the ocean and the intracoastal, the boating that Alyssa, likes to do, and fishing, and the weather. But dolphins also work together. If you can see in here, they work together in a pod. There's 3 of them in there, and we work together. We have a team concept where we have in-house photography, in-house videography, in-house IT, in-house client concierge, and then we do a lot of training in-house as well, and we all communicate within each other, which is very unusual in real estate. In any other place, the agent's doing everything. Either they're paying for it themselves, or they're doing each one of these functions themselves, or they're contracting it out. And then you've got all these people, that don't know each other, communicating, and they're spending all this time. Where our concept is, we do it all for the agents so they can concentrate on networking, selling your home, working with a buyer, and they're not bogged down. Dolphins also use a lot of advanced technology or sonar. And I thought sonar was a little harsh sounding. Dolphin, you kind of think of some bar in Key West, like the Blue Dolphin that we're going to go to, and I didn't think that had a good ring to it. And go on this cruise. I dropped it. We went on a cruise to Captiva. It's a pandemic, so I'm giving the long story. So we go on this cruise to Captiva. Me and my wife we went for a New Year's thing to get away for a few days. We go on this dolphin cruise, and on the left side of the boat, the dolphins came up. And it was like that George Costanza thing with trying to get out of the way in the Seinfeld thing with, there's a fire, and he's pushing, the old people, everybody away. Well, old people were pushing young people away, but in a fun way. Everybody wanted to get positioned to see the dolphins, and the dolphins went to the other side of the boat, and the boat literally tilted when they went to the other side of the boat. So I got dolphins in my head again, and then I go back, and 1 o'clock in the morning I wake up and I'm playing synonyms and I see echolocation, as you can see on the right. So echo location, I like the ring of echo. It was simple. And echo, also the other part of dolphins is they're using this advanced technology, not only to communicate together, but to find food. Really no different than we use advanced technology, whether it's web or video or social media or VR, to find homes for our buyers we represent, or to find buyers for the sellers we represent. So organically, I just liked the whole ring to it. And then we added the find properties to it, as well. And then there you go.
Well, I can say that Jeff has taken, I mean, again, I don't know when he sleeps. Sometimes I get emails from Jeff at 4:30 in the morning. I'm sleeping though, but I'll see later. He emailed me at 4:30 in the morning. So he's got an interesting sleep schedule. But he cares about his team, the business. Whenever I ever needed something for, hey, Jeff, I need a new camera. I was always afraid to ask Jeff because when I worked in the news, if something happened with your camera or your microphone, either A, you got in trouble because you broke it, or B, it's just not in the budget. It's just not in the budget this year. And I remember the first time I approached Jeff, he says, "What do you need?" And I said, "Well, I was thinking about," he goes, "Order it. If it's going to do the job and it's going to make what we have to do, just get it." So he invests the time, he invests the money. With every agent, with Homaira can probably speak to it, and Alyssa same. I mean, he'll meet one-on-one with you guys and talk with you guys. That to the left of you, Jeff. Well, you're right. It would be your left over your left shoulder, but to the right, it says 2020 Best of Palm Beach County. And that seems like forever ago, but that was literally right before this pandemic.
I know.
And we got to go to the convention center in West Palm Beach, where we were up against some stiff competition. And when the name was announced, the winner of the best real estate team in Palm Beach County and Echo Fine Properties got announced, it was exhilarating. And it was the hard work that he's put in over the past, well, forever, but the past, 4 or so years with the Echo Fine Properties. And that's doesn't come by accident, that first place. So I want to thank you, first of all, for the time and, what you mean. I mean, it's what you are, the leader of this company and set by example. What would be your message to agents out there, real estate agents out there that, it seems like a tough time right now? It could be. What's your message to them to, get through this coronavirus, to get through this COVID-19? It's, I can't sell any homes. I'm stuck. What's your message to them right now?
There's a couple of things. It's a fun period to innovate. So we all get a chance. I said, I think our first meeting when we got back, there's the movie Big with Tom Hanks, and he visits Zoltar as a kid, and he gets his wish to become big. So this is Little, where you're in Little now, and you can play with all this technology. It's a time to do some of that and innovate. But I think it's the old timer I was talking about earlier was telling me about an interview he saw years ago, and it was called Mount McKinley. I don't know what it was called today. It was this 80-year-old man who climbed Mount McKinley, and they said, "What's the secret?" And he was moving while he was being interviewed, and he goes, "You just got to keep moving." And he just kept moving and walked off screen. But I think that is what you have to do when there's fear or there's tough times. You run at it, and you have to see the glass, half empty, half full, whatever the optimistic side is, and look at what the opportunities are and what you can do and pull yourself out of it in here. And a lot of times good things happen from some of it. So like on the business side, we're finding it, we're doing things like this. So I'm not watching the news, not looking at that. It's what can we do for our clients? What can we do for company-wise to improve? I think you just keep moving. That's my, I'll go with that.
And homie's on the thing, but homie's actually commenting on Facebook too. Jeff is the best. We can't say enough great things about him. Suzanne, we are the best of the best. And exactly, it doesn't come by accident. It's a lot of hard work by all. Thank you, Jeff. So again,
but the best of, the best brokerage came from it's a team effort. And without really, top talent from agent wise to incredibly, hard work from, every person in there, none of that happens.
Well, and so, I think anyone watching this right now, if there's any agents at other brokerages or you're on your own, I think one thing you get when you come to Echo Fine Properties, as Jeff said, is it's that team mentality. It's, you don't have to worry about the photography, the video, the marketing. It's all taken care of for you. So you can actually do what you have to do, and that's sell homes and go out and talk to people.
Well, each person, you take Rob or, Sarah, they're all assistants to you, number of them, but they're really assistants to the end client at the end of the day. So the homeowner or the buyer is getting a team of all these other people working for them. And that's how every normal business is run out there. You went to a car, dealer, you wouldn't see the salesperson, and the salesperson's not in the auto repair shop fixing your car. It's not paying for brochures or television ads or working on the website. And whether it's when I came in the textile business, we had an art studio of 10 board artists. You never saw the sales department in the art studio. You never saw the sales department in the warehouse. You never saw the sales department doing the customer service of answering the phones. You never see the news. You don't see somebody, you don't see the anchor running the video. Everybody's working together, and that's what we do. And real estate's just set up where it's just one-armed, entrepreneurs or paper hangers doing their thing, and they can't possibly do all the stuff. That's where we got our home economics guarantee, and we're doing all this for them. So we're moving at we're innovating and growing at such a fast pace, and that's why we won Best Brokerage. It's the combination of I think the hard work, the mentality, the good attitudes and empathy and people that we have, and the model that we have.
And I think, and again, I would think all the agents that work for our company would agree that it's not that, what I learned when I came into the real estate industry with you guys is like any industry, it could be cutthroat. It could be every man for themselves, right? But it feels like at Echo, everyone's there to help each other. If there's questions, they're bouncing ideas off of each other. It's this team because they truly care about each other. Yeah, of course you want to make that commission check. I get it. You want that big check at the end of the day, but everyone's helping each other in the end.
We don't. I think because we also came out of a team concept. We're really a combination. We're a brokerage, but it might almost be like a combination of the word brokerage and team, together, is really what it is. So it's a different. Everybody's individually promoted. Everybody's an individual agent, like any other brokerage, but we have a team mentality and we have a team model. So they're getting best of both worlds.
It reminds me of do you remember the skit? It was I Love Lucy, and you had I think it was chocolates going down the conveyor belt.
Right.
But we have the conveyor belt where everybody's got a job and everybody's doing something. In Lucy, it was moving so fast, the conveyor belt, and she couldn't keep up, and she started shoving the chocolates in her mouth the whole time. But we have this smooth running operation. But we could go on. I mean, Jeff, it's almost 1 o'clock. We could probably go on for 3 more hours. This is episode 1 of like The Last Dance here.
No, we talk about this. We talk about this constantly. All this stuff. But we don't have enough hours in the day right now. It's like we're innovating and creating at such a incredible pace. It's fun.
Jeff,
that part's fun.
If there's any agents out there that are watching this that are interested in maybe, joining the Echo Fine Properties team, how can they get in touch with you?
Best way is by phone, 561-346-8383, either phone or text. Or just give me an email at jeff@echofineproperties.com, Facebook, message as well. So whatever is best.
So that was episode 1 of Jeff Lichtenstein. We'll be back maybe next week with episode 2, where he talks about his love for the Chicago White Sox. And I don't know what else.
The White Sox social, there's nobody there, so we've always practiced social
distancing at the White Sox games. But
I got my little White Sox guy with me right here, so I'm waiting for baseball to come back.
So later today we have we were supposed to have a 1 o'clock interview today. Unfortunately, the gentleman had to cancel. A job came up and he had to take the money, and I get it. So he's out right now. But at 2 p.m. we have IJF Promotions, and Penny Burke will be conducting that interview. Penny's always fun. She'll have a good time with that. 3 p.m. Jeff, this is you. Romeo and Juliet's Cafe. I've never been there.
It's amazing. It's they had a large restaurant by the old Jupiter 18 theater, off of which is it what's the name of that now?
Where at?
The Jupiter 18, which is now 12. It's the luxury theater off of Indiantown Road.
Oh, anybody know that name? I know. It's Elmira shaking her head no. It's
I've been to the movies in a while, so I forgot. Anyhow, they had this great Italian restaurant. They disappeared one day, and then we heard about Romeo and Juliet's, and it's off this beaten path in a corporate like side road off of Tequesta. It's there's only restaurant around that you would see, and they have 12, 14 tables in there. It's this intimate restaurant with the best Italian food. It's like an old school family restaurant like that you would find up north. That's neighborhoody, that you go and have a romantic, dinner. And there's not a lot of places like that.
No, there's not.
Yeah, and it's it's a terrific restaurant. So,
So that's at 3 o'clock. That's with you, and then at 4 o'clock, you'll remember this guy, Sean Mosley from S&A Mobile Detailing. Sean was one of our first
he's amazing.
Successful videos that we put together when I started, and it blew up. And Sean's business has blown up too. He's been crazy. He's been nonstop. So he sent me a bunch of pictures, some of the cars that he did. He's all over the place. He's got NFL players that he's doing their cars. He's got I know he did 50 Cent before. So he's got some great clientele there. But Sean will join us at 4 o'clock to talk about his business, and I don't think he stopped. He's been all over the place. People are getting their cars detailed still. So
a lot of the people that we're interviewing, they are I think everybody that we're interviewing will do fine in this because they're adapting and they're getting out there and they want to tell their story, with it. But I think just talking to Lichtenstein Plastic Surgery yesterday, see all the innovations that they're doing. I mean, when you go in there, how careful they are with everything. Or to see Dinners and Motions, or El Fagacito yesterday. It wasn't opening up till today because they wanted to make sure everything was perfect from a safety, standpoint. So I think some of this stuff is just fascinating to hear. You get ideas for your own business, by listening to these. They're all locals. We're local. We support local, and the stuff is really good.
So if anybody's looking for a home, you got Alyssa, Regan right there. So call her up, call Homie up, call her.
They're both amazing at what they do. They both care about their clients. They work hard. They work really smart. Pick either one. They're terrific agents. And
I know Alyssa knows this. It's been cold up in northeastern Pennsylvania. So Alyssa, tell all your friends that it's time to move to South Florida and get out of the snow and the cold in May.
Yes, it's freezing.
Yeah, no May flowers, May sleet.
May sleet. So I think that's it, Jeff. We'll be back at 2 o'clock with Penny, and then Romeo and Juliet's after that at 3, and Sean Mosley and S&A Mobile Detailing at 4. And then I think I'll take a nap after that.
Yeah. All right. So for Homie, Alyssa, Rob Moore, and myself, so long, everybody.
See you later.